and welcome to the Finest Women in Real Estate. I'm your host, Kimberly Whitfield, and we are here today to discuss building the dream. I have two lovely, wise ladies here with us today. Here with us in studio is Jamie Grijalva, and she is a real estate broker and owner of Selling SoCal. We also have some other business that we'll talk about, which is exciting and fun to talk about. And we have SKYPEing in Daniela Bumann, who is a life coach, motivational speaker, corporate consultant, and the founder of Vibrant Living International. Welcome, Daniela.
Welcome. It's great to be part of the show.
Awesome. We're so happy to have you. So today we're going to be talking about how to make it as an entrepreneur. I mean, we are all entrepreneurs here, and I'm excited to learn from two amazing ladies about entrepreneurship. But first, of course, I want to learn a little bit about what each of you do and how you got started, and I know the audience wants to learn as well. So Jamie, tell us a little bit about how you got your start in real estate.
So let's rewind about 15 or so years. My then boyfriend at the time, now husband, we were looking for a house. We wanted to, buy a little bit of the dream, and nobody would help us. Nobody would help us. It was a very womp womp kind of a feeling. So I was like, you know what, babe? I am going to be a realtor. I am going to buy us a house or help us buy a house. And my husband at the time, or boyfriend at the time, he put my real estate course on a credit card. And from the time that I got my license to the time I closed on my first deal was, I don't know, maybe a couple months, and I never looked back.
That's amazing. What a story. I can't believe nobody would help you.
I know. Well, it was, between not being married and the potential issues that young people have buying a home. They looked at us just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to buy a house, and they were like, just, wait a little bit longer, wait till he gets promoted a little higher in the ranks. He's in the military at the time. Okay. And yeah, so that was my story, how I got started. Cool. And I'm glad they told me no. I'm glad they told me no, because here I am, right?
Exactly. And rocking it, apparently.
Thank you.
So real estate is one very successful business that you have, but you also co-own 3 tattoo shops? How did that happen?
I always try to find a better way to say it, because people are like, tattoos? First of all, it's funny, yes, I don't have any tattoos.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many tattoos do you have?
I don't have any tattoos, but we co-own these shops, and they're near and dear to my heart because my brother is an amazing tattoo artist. And one day, right before we were about to go on vacation, a family vacation, my husband and I and the kids, my brother calls me at midnight. And, my brother and I are kind of close, but why are you calling me at midnight? What's going on? Yeah. And he called me and he was like, I just want to tell you I love you. And I'm like, okay, I love you too.
Oh, and I need something.
Well, no, it wasn't that. Oh. It was his tattoo shop at the time where he was working. There was violence, gun violence. And so there was a need for clean, family-owned and operated shops. So he told me that, he almost died that night. His car had bullet holes. It was just, they had to low crawl out of the back. It was just a mess. And I'm bawling my eyes out, just bawling. And I'm like, when we come back from vacation, I promise I'm going to do everything I can to help you open up a shop. And he's like, okay. Well, it's going to cost this much. No. No. And then that literally, I kid you not, that was 2 years ago, and we have 3 now.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
And do you, how involved are you?
So I do a lot of the back admin stuff, because when I come into the shop, people are like, what is she doing here? Is that the tax collector? Who's I actually, we do we do a lot of work on the fundraisers. We do a lot of fundraising with the shops for the people in the community. And then we do stuff with the city, permits, all the stuff that nobody licenses.
Your creative brother doesn't.
My creative brother stays behind, in the chair with his clients, with the artists. They all love him. I don't know if they love me, but I make
I'm sure they do. well, that's awesome. I love it. I want to make sure we get to Daniela here. Daniela, I want to hear a little bit about how you got started. I know you have quite a journey coming from Switzerland, which I'm familiar with Switzerland. It's a beautiful place. And how did you get your start in this amazing business that you have?
Well, there's also been a very interesting journey. I just got done doing a blog, and it's called the Journey to Liberation from Dusk to Dawn. And when I first came over to this country at 19, which was just barely 20 years ago, I'm kidding, I fell in love with the light that this country had, of course, the palm trees, the sunshine. It just felt like there was just more opportunities here. And so I felt like, wow, this is where I want to come back to. And so at barely 19, I was here with a couple of girlfriends, and we worked as au pairs. And it was quite the journey, up and downs, and some very interesting things that happened, but we helped each other through this process. And, then love, of course, found me. There's always love. Yeah. And then I went back to Switzerland, and I started a private school, and I got my education. And when I was done with that, I had several part-time jobs because I wanted to come back over here to the United States, in particular to California, and to the dismay of my parents. And frankly, they weren't going to give me the money to come over here. And so they said, if that's your dream, you're going to have to make it happen. So I did. And I came to this country, and I was working within a traditional business setting for probably 3 years. And that was about 25 years ago. And then I started my own business, doing seminars, doing coaching. But of course, from having come from Switzerland, I had to really get to know how people are, because nobody laughed at my jokes. It was a very different sense of humor, different figure of speeches, different customs. And I thought I just came over from Switzerland to the United States, but it felt like I moved to India because everything was really different. So that moved me deeply into studying about personalities, personality profiles, positive psychology, winner's mindsets. And I've always been about tapping into the fullness of our potential. And so that's what really ended up getting me started to become a speaker, and then getting into the different components of I call it my life work, really, my life work.
Wonderful. So I didn't know. I don't know a lot about you. I'm meeting you on here, but I think that's amazing that you were an au pair. I have an au pair. I'm on my third au pair now. The one that just left actually is trying to figure out how the heck to come back. So that's interesting. It's not unusual. And you did make it back. I am curious though, did you come back for the same love or to the same love?
I did, yeah. The husband at the time, I did come back, but that's what I was saying. When you take a bicultural journey like that, and when you go to a place to visit, even if it's for a year or 2 years, it's very different than when you immigrate.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's totally different. And so, when I came back here after 3.5 years or so, things went they went pretty much down pretty fast.
Yeah.
And things did not pan out. The support I thought I was going to have, I didn't have. So I really had to make my own way. And for that matter, even the language, I was still learning the language. Yeah. I grew up speaking German and speaking French.
Right on. And you stuck with it. And Jamie, there was no turning back with her business. So I love it. I think it's amazing. So we're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk more about what it takes to be an amazing and successful entrepreneur. You're watching The Finest Women in Real Estate. I'm your host, Kimberly Whitfield. We'll see you in just a minute.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Welcome back to The Finest Women in Real Estate. I'm your host, Kimberly Whitfield, and I am here today joined by Jamie Grijalva. I always feel like I'm going to mess that up. And we have Skyping in Daniela Bumann. Did I say that right?
Yes,
I love
you
it.
should.
Okay. I love it. I feel like I sound so elegant when I'm saying it that way. So we're going to dig in a little more and talk about what it really takes to have a successful business and to be a successful entrepreneur. And so, Jamie, I'd love to hear a little bit from you because you have a very successful real estate business, and I love the name Selling SoCal. It's so unique. It's so perfect, and especially with you as the owner of the company. It's amazing. So tell the audience a little bit about like what it takes to have a successful business. How did you get to be so successful in your business?
Well, it sounds so cliche, but start off with a business plan. Mm-hmm. It's really a roadmap to where you need to go, right? So you start off with a business plan, you look at your budget, you look at the people, the infrastructure that you're going to need, so the people that are going to be involved and the programs you're going to need for the business. And then you back it up with a lot of passion and drive and your spunk and personality. Yeah, right. Exactly. So yeah, for me, that's what has helped me become successful.
I think that's probably the first time I've had someone say, like, start with a business plan. Like an entrepreneur actually say, you got to start with a business plan. So I think that's amazing. I mean, you're a very structured, organized person.
My husband is the one that,
husband.
Yeah, he's always like, I love him to death, but
you said he's right.
Yeah, he's totally right.
Okay,
he's totally
amazing.
right. Yeah,
amazing.
My husband knew
awesome.
It. Yes.
And so, Daniela, is that one of the things you think it takes, or do you have some other things that you think it takes to really have a successful business?
Absolutely. I would totally agree with Jamie that being a successful entrepreneur is all about getting down to the nitty-gritty. Having the passion, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, is very important. But being practical and getting down to the nitty-gritty is the key. Having business systems and really making decisions that support your business and not just your passion, because you are earning a living doing what it is that you love is definitely essential. I found that having the passion is important, but it keeps you going when the going gets tough because you love what it is that you do. So passion alone without a business system and follow-up processes and networking processes are futile. It doesn't work. So having a system that backs up your passion is essential. And the motivation is really about, that's another character trait, is really what helps you to stay motivated and being able to do what it is that you need to do, being intrinsically motivated, meaning it comes from the inside out. You get up in the morning and you do want to work on your business. Also, I found optimism with the many up and downs that we go through in our business. If you don't have the optimism to see past those challenges, you're going to stop.
Yeah.
And which brings me to another trait, perseverance.
Yeah.
That's where most people that are not successful fail. So I think a successful entrepreneur develops a perseverance where you really start to look at challenges as just solving another opportunity, another day at the office.
Amazing. Yeah, I love it. Those are great traits. And one of the things you said, which seems you both have, is you love what you do. Like, you really love what you do. And Jamie, you are, I hear that you are now have people coming to you to ask for help. So what are you finding the biggest problems that people are having and that they're coming to you for help with are?
Well, in real estate specifically, I mean, this is very specific. It's about getting clients, getting new clients, and keeping your pipeline filled. So I give them my 2 cents. I tell them what I'm doing, and sometimes I feel like I shouldn't tell them what I'm doing, but
that just crossed my mind.
right.
Yeah.
I tell them what I'm doing, and I'm flattered that other successful realtors come to me and ask me, or entrepreneurs, they come and ask me what we did, how we did it, what was the budget, how we got started, and stuff like that. So it's neat, but yeah.
So how do you help them, or how do you guide them on getting more clients? What are a couple things that you do to help them get more?
So I ask them what their budget is.
Okay.
So there are, in real estate specifically, there are ways to get leads that are expensive, like buying leads, and then there are leads where you just grow them very organically, like these people have been watching you on social media for years or months or whatever, and then there's the traditional door knocking, shaking hands, going to networking events, stuff like that.
Like you're a politician.
Right, exactly. Buy and sell with me. But anyhow, so yeah, I give them my 2 cents, and then I actually give them little steps and tools, and that seems to really help them.
I love it. Awesome. And that brings me to you, Daniela, because you also are a life coach. You have corporate, you do corporate consultations, so you help people to do some of the things we talked about, get organized, get focused, but also grow their businesses. So tell us and the audience a little bit about how you do that.
Well, besides really helping people to get much clearer, like we were speaking about earlier, sometimes I work with seasoned entrepreneurs or people that want to become entrepreneurs, and they are the ones that are seasoned and are in the middle of it. They are burning the candle at both ends, and sometimes helping them to find their island. Helping you find your island so you can really tap back into that center of creativity where you can really pull and extract from that big idea that originally made you tap into your business, or have that big idea, because it takes a big idea in order to really follow a passion. I would have given up on my work a long time ago if I would have not had that big idea moving it forward. And that big idea comes from a place of creativity.
That makes so much sense. And when you are
into that.
And when you are stressed out, when you're burning the candle at both ends, you can't be creative. You're most creative when you're relaxed.
Right.
Yeah. So were you going to say something? No. Okay. So I want to dig in a little more with you, Daniela. I want to hear. So what are these? You do corporate retreats? Do I have that right? So
yes.
What would be like maybe a typical brief overview of like a corporate retreat that you might do?
Well, there's a couple of different scenarios. So one of them is, for example, a corporate retreat where we're doing an end of a year retreat, and I come in and I customize the retreat to what your goals are for the coming year. And at the same time, I'm putting a specific curriculum together where we're celebrating who you are, everything that you've accomplished that year, so you don't feel like you've been a number. So to really build a team that knows much more about each other outside of the business.
Amazing.
And activities to really cultivate that positive dynamic motivation that, at the end of retreat, you feel like, you've been recharged. And then I just got done doing a corporate retreat. No, it wasn't a retreat, it was a training for 120 HR managers. And this was on emotional intelligence and leadership. So those are some things, this was a full day training. Those are some things that we pull in on a retreat as well. Mindset, my winner's mindsets, or emotional intelligence, and how you can use your leadership style and emotional intelligence to be more effective, which you end up benefiting personally and professionally. It's very rewarding.
Well, and I mean, that's kind of how you got your start, because you had to figure out the U.S. as a, you know, as a people, as a culture, in the business world. And so having that foundation, you really got to, now you can help so many people get their foundation, even though maybe they're from this country and they should know these things. So that's huge, and that's amazing. And so we are going to go on a break. I'm so excited to come back and just hear more from these two amazing ladies and experts in their field. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. I'm your host, Kimberly Whitfield, with the finest women in real estate. Stay tuned.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
First time I tried biking, and it was laying around my mom's house. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more. Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Welcome back to the finest women in real estate. I'm your host, Kimberly Whitfield, and I am gathered here today. It sounds so far, gathered here today with Jamie Grijalva and Daniela Bumann. And so I would love to hear from you, Jamie, tell us about selling SoCal, and tell us what your goals are with that. Again, I love that name.
You love the name.
I love the name.
Well, the name, funny enough, is like the love child for my passion of real estate and my love of Southern California. We can start there. But with Selling SoCal, the brokerage, our goal is to help our realtors with how the new technology age is moving buyers and sellers, and so we help them with video, we help them with social media, we help them with new ways of marketing themselves. And I'm so excited because we have different comp plans that will suit veterans in the industry as well as brand new agents. And then Selling SoCal, with Selling SoCal, we're going to be launching the show. And yay, I know, Selling SoCal, the show is coming, and it will celebrate all things Southern California. Amazing. What I love about Southern California, the beaches, the mountains, the deserts, the cultural events, influential people in the community. So anyhow, I'm very excited to showcase all the things that made me fall in love with Southern California. And mind you, I've been all around the world. Yeah. And there's no place like home.
I think I have to agree. Yeah. And so are you going to be hosting it?
You know, I've toyed with the idea of having several different hosts and contributors, but until we actually get launched, yours truly will have to be hosting.
Awesome. It's going to I'll be watching.
Oh, awesome.
I will be watching. Yeah, awesome. I love it. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a very exciting time for you.
Thank you. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Perfect name. And didn't it start out as a hashtag?
Yes.
Hashtag Selling SoCal?
It was hashtag Selling SoCal. And I'm like, I can't believe it. And there were no companies called Selling SoCal. I'm like, why not? Like,
it was meant for you.
What are people doing here?
Yeah, awesome. I love
so
it.
Selling SoCal's mine. I own it.
I feel like it should have been around forever. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So amazing. So Daniela, I want to know, and I know the audience wants to know also, what is your overall target market for Vibrant Living International? Vibrant Living International, is this something that people tuning into the Finest Women in Real Estate talk show could benefit from?
Absolutely, because I help you to improve your ability to recognize limiting beliefs. So I help you to recognize those limiting beliefs, because if you don't realize that you have a limiting belief, you can't get to the next level. So as a life performance coach, I help you through very specific winners mindsets and success habits, and I help you integrate that into your day, which of course helps to increase your confidence, helps to train your mind into a winner's mindset, and it helps you oftentimes to find yourself in the process, knowing that you're not just selling, but this is what you're passionate about, and so that's moving you forward. So helping you to have a bigger vision about what it is that you do. Also, working with me oftentimes helps you to save time and energy on making mistakes that you really don't have to go through. But if we don't have the right kind of tools, or we're not aware of some of the limiting beliefs, you can't be liberated, right? So it's definitely very advantageous for business owners of any background to work with me as a life performance coach or as a career coach as well.
I think it'll be great for real estate agents and anybody in the real estate industry as a whole. And you said one thing that caught my attention, because I've heard it before and I don't remember where I've heard it, but you talked about upper limits, and I'm sure you help people to make their current maximums their new minimums, right? And then just take it to the next level. So amazing. Both of you ladies are helping people. You're bringing things to the market. You're educating the world. And I'm so grateful to have had you on. I've learned quite a few things already on this show. I've learned that you should probably have a business plan and have something to fall back on in entrepreneurship. Also, it takes passion, and you both are extremely passionate. It's very obvious. You love what you do. And so that's also what makes it so much fun to be on a show with you guys, because you're learning from people who are passionate, and so that's amazing. And being creative, but also having some sass, because both of you guys have some sass. I love it. Another great, I'm a little biased here, I think another great episode of The Finest Women in Real Estate. And so thank you both. Thank you, Jamie, and thank you, Daniela, for being on. And thank you for being here. You can find The Finest Women in Real Estate. You can watch it 24/7 on Amazon Fire TV and Roku. On the EAN TV network. You can also watch it you can also go to thefinestwomeninrealestate.com. I am your host, Kimberly Whitfield, and thank you for tuning into The Finest Women in Real Estate, and we'll be back next time.